All right, listen. Okay. Here
I
we are,
love
guys.
that this happens every time. What is going on? A proper intro, as always. We are how many episodes in, and we are so fucking professional. How's it going, guys? Today is Wednesday, June 15th, but for you, Friday the 17th. Dirty motherfucking D. We have quite a little bit to discuss today, Dirty D. It's been a few weeks since we've been on the platform. Welcome back, Dirty D, to the channel. It's been empty in our hearts without you, but we are glad to see you back. What do we got? What do we got on today? I'm gonna let you start it off.
All right, I'll just take it then, because this is probably the most pressing thing here that we have today, and that is tonight. I'm sorry, 2 days ago.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was crazy.
It's Wednesday right now. So tonight, the NHL Stanley Cup Finals begin. And I got to tell you, I'm a diehard Red Wing fan. We're both Red Wings fans.
Mm-hmm.
But you could not have drawn up a better matchup for the finals. It's so rare when this happens, right? In the NFL, and it doesn't matter what sport, it's so rare that you actually get the two best teams, know.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe we have the two best teams in the NHL right now going at it for the finals, and that is so exciting because on one side you got Nathan McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen, and hopefully Nazem Kadri is back for them, and I hate Colorado. I'm a Wings fan, right? I have to hate them, right? But I love hockey, so. But they are an incredibly deep roster. Most of them play the game the right way. A little bit thin, slightly thin at goaltender. Now, flip side, we have Tampa, the best goaltender in the NHL. You want to argue that that's okay, but the reality is that this guy may go down as the greatest of all time. And I think that it's really important to point out Pat Maroon, the big rig, what a nasty hockey player. And I love him. But he is going for his fourth straight Stanley Cup. And this is getting lost on some people because he won 2 years ago in Tampa. He won last year in Tampa. The prior year to that, he played for St. Louis. St. Louis won the cup. So he's going for his fourth Stanley Cup personally in a row.
And it's unnoticed because it's different teams. So
it's partly that, but Pat Maroon is what they call a grinder.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really a guy that puts the puck in the back of the net. He's there to be physical with people. And so generally, but I'm bringing this up because due to the fact that he's not a scorer, he's not even a setup man, really. He's there for a couple purposes, and that's about it. But he's one of the best at it. I think that if he wins a Stanley Cup, I don't know how in the world, even though his numbers don't lend to it, I don't know how you can keep this guy out of the Hall of Fame. And that's an incredible thing when you think about the fact that it's Pat Maroon. He'll tell you himself he's not a goal scorer, right? He hasn't really had a Hall of Fame career, but 4 Stanley Cups in a row.
Fighting for the cup and for history.
It's going to create a really unique thing here. And I forgot what I wanted to talk about with that. And it just kind of happened organically. It was Pat Maroon that I wanted to discuss. So I'm glad that kind of happened like that. But listen, they got Nikita Kucherov, Steven Stamkos, Victor Hedman. They are a very, very deep team. I will argue that they're not quite as deep as Colorado. However, they got a better goaltender. So this is probably going to be a 7-game series. And I'll just go ahead and make my prediction now. I do think Colorado's going to win. Low key, I'm kind of pulling for Tampa a little bit. And that's mainly because Steve Yzerman is the general manager for Detroit, but the team in Tampa is his team. He built that before he left and went to Detroit. So it's his team. So it's kind of like a look in the future, what Detroit's going to look like in 5 or 6 years. So yeah, very exciting stuff.
So how many games is it out of 7?
Just like basketball.
So just like basketball. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So best of 7, and tonight's night 1. How many games? 1, 2 a week, or how do they do it?
What I think they're doing, from everything I've been gathering, is they're just staggering with the NBA. The NBA and the NHL do this every year.
Oh, gotcha.
Where they try to stagger at very least the Stanley Cup Finals. They try to do it a little bit with the playoffs, but that's tough. But the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals generally happen around the same time, so they try to stagger them.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on to MMA topics and all, I wanted to express Dirty and I wanted to express our condolences out there for Marion Barber, who had passed away on the 1st of this month. So just a few weeks back.
Yeah.
Not sure.
38 years old, man.
38, man.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. I know he suffered from some mental health issues, and they were doing a welfare check. But yeah, so not sure.
You know, I'm glad that came up because, as you know, I suffer from that greatly. Mm-hmm. And, there has been times when we haven't done this podcast due to that.
Yeah.
I haven't said that at the time, but in reality, that is what's happened.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing when you have to deal with it every day.
Yeah.
And I can see so easily where if you allow it to, it'll consume you.
Yep.
And once it does that, it's over. It's a wrap. I don't think there's any getting out of that. And I can tell you that from experience. Mm-hmm. I know there's going to be people out there, for me saying that, are going to be upset. I'm telling you, based on my experience, it's so easy to slide. And once you start sliding, it doesn't end.
That's it. Yep.
It's a motherfucker, man.
Yep.
And I feel bad for him and his family and all of the Cowboys fans, and R.I.P. Marion Barber.
R.I.P. Marion Barber. Now, as you guys know, we had UFC 275, one of the best cards so far this year, if I do say so myself. But I do want to highlight something because Dirty hasn't been on this channel in a couple weeks. So I wanted to highlight his Hottie McToddy favorite of all time. UFC Vegas 56. Holy shit. Karolina Kowalkiewicz is back. And man, she looked like she did when she first came through, beheading bitches.
Sure did.
Sassy human reference. Okay. And she's training with Joanna. We'll talk about Joanna here in a little bit, but training with Joanna, amazing to watch. Beautiful performance. I had to highlight Karolina before we moved on.
Thank you, brother, because I do have a major crush on her. Always have.
I know. Oh, I know you do.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad. And when she first came in, she was tearing it up. And if you remember, she gave Joanna fits in their fight, at least in the first couple rounds. And but I think Joanna broke her.
Yes. Yeah. It was a great back and forth until then.
We've talked about that many times with fighters. They get broken. It's it.
Yep.
Sometimes they do come back. It's so rare.
Right.
To see her go in there and handle business.
So amazing. So amazing. All right, guys, listen, Jack Della Maddalena with a body shot from hell to end it. We only had one decision on the main card, and it was highly controversial in many people's opinions. Not so much in my opinion. We'll get into that. But your thoughts on Jack Della Maddalena? Madalena.
I think it's Madalena. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you go and then I'll fill it in for you.
Sure.
How's that?
Yeah, no problem. So after that crushing body blow, we had fucking Andre Filio. Andre. Is it Andre? It's Andre Filio, right?
Andre.
Yeah, Andre. Yeah. And Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews coming so close, man. But that second round got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
God, man. We had some great fucking moments this card, dude. The prelims
setting aside
great.
The main event.
Yes.
Which we'll talk about, but yeah, I mean,
well, the last three, let's just get into it. The last fucking three: Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Weili Zhang Weili, however you slice it. Fucking, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I will take a little bit on this one here, just because, I think it's pretty clear that, I've never been a fan of Joanna.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, towards the end, I started coming around a little bit more because she started, pulling back the boogie woman and all of that nonsense.
Right.
Once she did that, I started liking her again. And then when I find out that she's working with Carolina, then I'm like, oh, this is really cool of her to do that, because she can give Carolina a lot of help. So, but I don't know, man. We obviously we'll just say it right now. She retired, right?
Yeah. Yep.
We'll see how long that holds up. I'm not 100% that's forever, but that was not a great fight for her.
No, she was a step behind the whole time.
The entire time.
It was obvious. It was obvious.
She phoned it in. And listen,
but hey, Weili Zhang. Yeah, there you go. If she does not improve every fucking fight, why does she look better in every fight? Even when she lost, losses,
she still looked good.
Exactly. She looks fucking good. This woman is just so amazing, and the respect that she has, an amazing person. After the fight, talking about how Joanna was her role model, and how when she got into it, Joanna was a champ. That's her role model, and she will always be the best, even after just fucking knocking her out with the spinning back fist.
Well, and not to mention the first fight, right? I mean, the alien head, and I mean, she just bounced her all over the place in that fight. And that I told you at the time, and I think you felt the same way. I mean, it was clear to me that Weili Zhang won that fight.
Oh yeah. There was I don't think there was any contest in that, really.
Well,
it was a great back and forth. They were.
But the reality is that when you look at it objectively, it's kind of like the Conor versus Nate fight in the second one. I mean, you got guys out there saying that Nate won rounds through 2 through 5. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? So, with that said, Weili Zhang is a badass, and I got a feeling if there's anybody that can give my girl Valentina any kind of resistance at all,
right?
Because Valentina is just perfection personified. Everything she does is perfect, but Weili Zhang, man, boy, and I know they're different divisions right now, but still
fantastic display. Display. Not as back and forth as the first one. All respect to Joanna. I do think that this retirement's going to stick for her. It took her 2 years to come back. She is in a plethora of different ventures outside of the octagon. She wants to settle down. She is set. She was very responsible and smart with her money.
She probably doesn't want her boobs
and
to
invested
get broke
well. Right? No shit. A lot more, surgery and everything after that. It's just not worth it at a certain point and she is at the championship mindset to know. No, go ahead.
The only reason I said that is because we have seen that in the past. I'm not predicting she's coming back. I'm just saying
Oh, right,
that we'll
right.
see, because I'd
I
like
mean,
to give it
Henry
at least a year
Cejudo.
before we go, oh, okay, yeah, she's definitely,
Right, right. Yeah. No, no, you're right. You're right.
that's all I meant by that. Yeah.
But she has the mindset of knowing, kind of when she's not fighting at that level anymore, and when it's just best for her to just bow out and let the new generation, as she said, take over. So I'm gonna miss you. Now let's talk about the real controversy. Valentina Shevchenko versus Talia Santos. A lot of people and their mother are saying that Santos won that fight. This is how I was thinking in my head. Okay. Santos was dominating a lot, if not all, of the ground
Right.
advances. The clinching was very surprising to see the strength that Santos had. Going into round 4, I said to my brother, the filthy casual, Valentina needs to dominate if she wants to win by split decision. That's what I said. Santos has given her a run for her money. It's now the 4th round. I think that Valentina had won the 2nd. Santos won the 1st and 3rd, but it looked bad for Valentina in the ones that she lost, right? So in my head, Valentina has got to perform really, really well in these last couple rounds if she wants to maintain her title with a split. She did exactly that. I felt she won the belt by split decision. I don't agree with the 49-46, but
See, I
I
did.
do agree with the split. You
See,
did.
I saw it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. We didn't, you and I didn't talk during that,
No,
but
no.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it that way.
I saw it very close. I did see it very close. I definitely think that Valentina lost 2 rounds out of the 3.
See, I had round 3. I think it was round 3. I had that for Valentina, even though it was, but
yeah.
And then also there's always this thing. And we know that this doesn't really exist near as much in the UFC as it does in boxing.
Right.
But to me, if you're going to beat the champ, you've got to beat the champ.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't edge the champ out.
You're exactly right. And that's exactly the same thing that you think about, like Jones Gustafson and Dominic Reyes Jones, they
Diaz
say the same
McGregor.
Thing. Diaz McGregor. They say that about all of them. You know what I mean? But you have to beat them. You know what I mean? Like for it to be that definitive in your head, if you want to be in the conversation.
How I feel about it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think I probably had round 3 for Valentina, because I was thinking it just wasn't enough of it wasn't dominant enough. And let's not get it twisted. Tatiana Juarez, right?
Yeah, Talia Santos. Yeah.
Santos, sorry.
Yeah.
Gangster.
Yeah.
If you can do that to Valentina,
the strength was crazy. That surprised the shit out of me. I was not expecting. Valentina is so fucking incredibly strong. And
she is,
for you to, I don't know, the way she was handled like that. And one thing that you could tell that Valentina wasn't expecting was every time she went for the clinch situation, Valentina tried to hook her head and, like do a fucking, hip toss to drag her to the ground,
Right.
And she kind of kept going to that. It worked a couple times, but it just stopped working. You know what I mean? And it's like those things where she was kind of surprised by the fact, but nevertheless, she won that fucking fight. I don't think there should be that big of a, debate about it. But let's talk about somebody who wanted to beat the champ to be the champ and went through hell to get it. Fight of the year in my eyes so far, Yuri Prochazka versus
really
Glover Teixeira. Holy fuck.
I don't know what fight was better than that one. And that's the threshold, right?
They both went through fire. My voice is still coming back. I mean, it was insane, man. Every fucking minute you could see either of them winning. Now, here's the thing. Yuri was losing that fight. And he fucking
And
got.
he was getting dominated on the ground.
He was. Glover 40 who? What the fuck, man? This guy is Benjamin Button. He is now fighting in his 20s, not his fucking 40s. This is incredible, man. It's
it
fucking
really
incredible.
is. And truth be told, I love Yuri Prochazka, but low key, I was kind of pulling for him because he's an older dude, man.
Me too.
You know,
I wanted him right off in the sunset the perfect way because he deserved it.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe, man, he is one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time. And he just proves it every fucking fight, man. You got to think, out of all these 41 fights, you lose 8 of them. It's That's fucking incredible. It's in the UFC. Incredible. Come on, man.
At light heavyweight. When most fights end like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So amazing. What a great fucking card, an amazing card. And I mean, I can't even believe that we have fucking International Fight Week. I'm not even ready for that mentally. We got to talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But let's take a quick break real quick.
Okay. Hang on. All right,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. For you, it was a millisecond. All right. It's still in MMA news. All right. BKFC. I got to tell you, Dirty D, because I know you don't follow them. They're making some moves, dog. They're picking up some more talent from the UFC. They just signed John Dotson. And now they're in it with Bellator. They made a 1-fight deal with Michael Venom Page. Hello. MVP is going to be fighting in BKFC London against Mike Perry. August 20th. Yes. They made a 1-fight deal. Hopefully this opens the door for some great cross promotion. But yeah, so MVP is going to join BKFC for 1 fight against Mike Perry on August 20th for BKFC London. Their first time going to London. I'm so excited for that, man.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you told me. I didn't know about the Mike Perry MVP thing.
Yeah.
This hopefully will be a lesson for Dana.
Yeah.
Because he's very narrow-minded with these kind of things.
Right.
And I get it. He's protective of the brand. He should be.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with a little cross promotion, man.
Right.
There's not.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt you in any way. It's only going to elevate your fighter.
Even the ones that fell. Look at Ben Askren. How his fucking popularity was so fucking high. Michael Chandler. So
look how jacked up we are over Mike Perry.
Yeah, man. Come on.
That's what we're fighting in the UFC. I mean, I like him. I like watching him fight and everything.
Right. Yeah. But man, this is it's great. It's great. They're making moves. They're getting bigger and bigger.
That's awesome.
They just launched a new app for those that pay for their services. It's $5 a month and you get every pay-per-view. It's fucking fantastic.
Wow.
$5 a month, every pay-per-view, every event. It's really, really great. So
that's
moving on.
Incredibly cheap.
No shit, man. For those of you who want to get into some bare knuckle fucking boxing, it's getting better and better. The refs allow the clinch. It's great.
I always catch the highlights on YouTube. Somehow they get them up there, and that's usually how I watch all of those.
In every fucking fight, there's hardly any fucking decisions. It's fantastic. It's fantastic
fighting, man.
All right, let's talk about 3 fantastic fights that were just recently announced. Okay, Rodriguez versus Ortega going down July 16th. That is going to be
really
fucking amazing. Then
did not hear that one.
Chito Vera versus Dominic Cruz.
I did hear
Fight
that
night,
one, yeah.
August 13th.
Yeah, that one is going to be very interesting.
It's going to be so interesting.
They're kind of different trajectories right now. And but listen, man, Dominic Cruz is still not a joke, man. I mean,
no, he's fucking not. No, he's not. It's going to be a good fucking fight. I got to be honest. Just obviously looking at it this far out, I don't see it to be that. I think it's going to be a good fight for Dominic Cruz, in my opinion. But all respect to Chito Vera, he is an animal.
Maybe.
Oh, I'm excited. Look, maybe. The matchmakers know what the fuck they're doing. That's the point of this.
I'm not 100% with you on that.
All right, we'll see. I'm
about 80% with you.
Okay.
On that.
All right. Usman versus Edwards. Edwards finally gets the okay from Dana White.
Did you see the
shook
animation,
his hand,
by the way?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, I saw Mojahid Fidia.
Yeah.
He's the one that does the animations we're always talking about. And I saw that he was giving shouts out, not to individual people, but to everybody that was sharing his videos and talking about them and all of that. So that was very cool that he addressed that, because
that's what's up.
Yeah, we have been big fans of his.
God, man, everything is so fucking great.
Even with the Johnny Depp stuff, it's just been
it's killer, been fucking it's been fantastic, man. Fantastic. So that's going down UFC 278, August 20th. Barring anything happens, injury wise, Edwards is finally getting his title shot. I'm excited for him. Shut him the fuck up. Let's close this fucking chapter, in my opinion.
That's 9 fights in a row.
Yeah.
I deserve a title shot next.
I deserve the title shot next. All right. That's all I had for MMA. I'm ready to move on to music. What do you got?
Do it. That's it. Let's do it. Can I start this one off?
Please, because I'm going to be going for a minute.
Okay, cool. Because there is a really cool song out there that we both heard. We both fell in love with. And it's a very, very emotional song. And it's just a really good song overall. It's from a guy named Dirty D. It's called I Miss My Best Friend.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard about. Yeah, you heard about that.
I heard about it.
Yeah,
I heard it's on my singles of the week.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
sweet. All right, cool.
Fucking fantastic. Honestly, it's really fucking good, man. It's really fucking good.
Thank you,
for those of you who have not, everybody who's on this channel, I'm sure is subscribed to Metal Biker
Probably.
Dude.
But just in case,
it's
on Metal Biker Dude channel.
Man, and when did this come out? Was this from 2 years ago, or is this a more recent song?
No, it's very recent. I just released it last week.
So it is a new.
It's a brand new song.
It's just been in the process.
It's just been. I rewrote the song 3 times. You could almost make the argument 4 times, and it took me forever to get everything done, because I have a friend of mine. I don't want to say his name, but he is a producer. He's also an engineer, and he works out of New York, and he's becoming big time. And and DZAN knows him, but I have him at my disposal, which is really nice, because now what I've been doing is I send him my completed files and he's mastering for me. And I can master. That's what I do for a living, but at the same time, I don't have the equipment he has. So he's been, and that was another song that he ran through for me through all of his analog gear and everything else. So it came out nice. Yeah.
It sounds fantastic. What really blew me away, D, and I told him this off the before the cast, the chorus. I didn't know D could sound like that, and it sounded so good, man. So
Thank you.
Fucking fire, man. Really, really good.
Thank you.
Song.
I appreciate
it. You guys haven't heard it, go check it out.
It's called I Miss My Best Friend, by the way.
Okay. The most anticipated album of the year. To me.
Nope. But I'm with you. It's very anticipated.
Boogie. More black superheroes. And by the time you're watching this, I would have already heard it 4 times. It's coming out this Friday, Thursday night, 10 p.m. For those of you who are going to be buying it Thursday night,
you must be busy. Only 4.
Only 4. Yeah, I do work the next day.
Oh.
But yeah. So I will be listening to it throughout the morning. I am so fucking excited, man. West Side Boogie. For those of you who haven't seen the video we posted a couple of weeks ago, I had a theory and kind of broke down what we knew about this album so far. Boogie has been amazing when it comes to being creative in putting his albums together. Everything for Sell, he had a whole 20-minute movie. And this is no different. Of course, he comes with a gimmick of 3 personalities. He went on the LA Leakers and fucking tore it up in 3 different personalities.
Awesome.
Anthony,
I haven't
Superblood
seen that
Bug,
yet.
and Ratchet Bug. Fantastic.
I'm sure somebody will send that to me.
And listen, guys, I had a theory that he put out 2 songs, I and Stuck. And he has these 3 personalities. I felt like was Ratchet Bug. Okay. And then when Stuck came out, that's Super Blood Bug. You know what I mean? And then I thought, okay, are we going to get a 3rd single that is more Anthony, more personal before we get the album? Or are we going to get the album? What is happening, Bug? But I predicted it was going to be coming out on the 11th or the 18th. It is coming out on the 18th, and we did get a single the week before, and it is much more personal. So we are right on track with that theory. And if you listen to the very last like 5 seconds of Killer Mode, which is his new single, you can tell it's trailing off into a skit or another song. I can't wait to listen to this. I know it's going to be beautifully put together and compiled. I'm very fucking excited. I can't stop talking about it. I tore my wife's ear off the other day when I heard the news that it's coming out this weekend. I'm so fucking excited, guys. So awesome, I'm definitely going to be doing something. I don't know what, shouting from the mountaintop and watching this, but very excited for this. Very, very, very excited.
Awesome.
Dirty D, I do want to say real quick before we jump off, we were talking about Kendrick Lamar's album, and in my head, I was thinking album of the year after really digesting it over a week. And I've lived with it now for over a month. And I feel like I just don't know if it quite beats J. Cole's album. And I wanted to express, because it was funny. I was walking and I had just finished the Kendrick album, and automatically it started playing the off season. And I was like, oh yeah, I haven't heard this in about a month.
What an album.
I listened to that in a row again, over and over. And I was like, fuck. Memory is so fleeting. You know what I mean? In music and everything.
Oh yeah.
I just had to readdress. I'm still living with both albums, obviously, but they are very neck and neck. But to me, the off season is just ran this year, and I don't see one song on that album where I'm like, there's not one. There's not one. And there's not one.
I'm not gonna push back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not skipping anything on Kendrick's. Let's not get that twisted either. There's not one on Kendrick's either. But there are some that I would be okay with if they weren't on the album. One in particular, but that's it. That's it. You know what I mean? But when you're thinking about, album of the year, and obviously the fucking weight of these two, in hip hop as a whole, you're going to have, a little bit of left and right.
Hairs.
But I wanted to say that we are not through with the year yet, people, but that was heavy in my mind.
I'm not going to push back at all, because I get what you're saying. But let me just say this, because this has happened to me before too. Not necessarily in hip hop, more with the rock stuff, but there have been many times when I've listened to an album and it didn't sink all the way in. And there's been many times where that's happened. And over time though, you start seeing the genius of it. And the reason is, and I think that this might happen to you.
Right.
Because Kendrick has, there's so many things that are happening at once.
Right.
That I don't think anybody could ever get it the first time. I think that album is impossible to do. But I also think that that's true of To Pimp a Butterfly. And I know that's sacrilege. I understand that. But the first time I listened to Pimp a Butterfly, in all fairness, it was early on in my journey too.
Right.
But the first time I listened to Pimp a Butterfly, I loved it. But I didn't get the genius of it until it probably took me 20, 30 times before everything fully sank in. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay. See what he did here in the first verse. He did it slightly differently in the second verse. And I really like what he did because he, and
start diving into it. Right. Start dissecting a little bit more.
There's so many layers to Kendrick. And listen, you've forgotten more about hip hop than I'll ever know. But when it comes to Kendrick, there's so many layers that it's just not, in my opinion, it's just not possible to get it right away to the point to where you go, oh my God.
Yeah. You know what, D? I'm going to say from someone that has only been listening to hip hop for 3.5 years, 4 years, going on 4 years. That was such an astute assessment. You are absolutely 100% right. I felt the exact same way with Good Kid, Mad City.
Okay.
I almost didn't like it.
You know what?
I almost didn't like it.
I'm sorry. That is a better example.
Yeah, and the way it carried me through the album, I felt different feelings. I was like, okay, well, this is this type of song. This is this type of song. And it took me legit a year before I started to respect.
Whereas Damn, boom,
instant. You're just absolutely
instantly.
Right. Instant. I'm like, this is his best. This is his best work ever. This is his best work.
Right.
And you're right. And it comes with there's a few artists who are at that kind of, who sit atop of that pinnacle of
that level.
You gotta sit with it. You gotta live with it. You gotta let it stew, because their genius is not skin deep. It's very, very deep. And everything goes over your head. You listen.
If there are any rockers out there, I'll give you an example. Rush is a perfect example. That is a band, when you listen to their album, you are just not going to get everything. Right. There's going to be one or two bangers on there or whatever, but you're not going to get the entire album because it's just so fucking layered.
Yeah.
And it takes 10, 15 listens before your brain can process it,
Yep.
So
if anybody can tell me that they heard an Eminem song in the past 5 years and understood every punchline on the first listen, I will say you are a fucking liar
or a genius.
I listen to Eminem more than I like to admit. And there are songs to this day that I catch little things and then I'm like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
M does that to me all the time.
It's all the time. And then you think in your head, how the fuck did I not connect that? How the fuck did I not? Yeah.
Old Wayne.
Oh my God.
Same way.
Wayne,
yeah.
If there's two rappers that you are never going to understand their punchlines, it's Eminem and Lil Wayne. On the first, you're not. It's just everything is interweaved. The whole song can be a double entendre. When I listened to Darkness for the first time, and I thought it was about him being an artist, awkward and afraid to go on stage, dealing with his,
stage fright
stage fright and his anxiety, to turn out that no, it's actually about the Las Vegas shooter. I mean, it's this genius. Yeah. And, yeah, so I 100%, you're completely right. So still living with it this year.
And you said that from the beginning.
I'm at. And I'm excited for, obviously we have a couple more albums coming out. I'm very excited for.
We have half a year left, right?
Yes.
But I do have to say this though. I am with you on the off season because in my opinion, let's take Kendrick out of this, okay? For now. It's the album of the year.
Yeah,
100%. Every genre, it's the album of the year. In my opinion, there's no question about that. I need to sit with Kate out a little bit more myself.
Right. Pride is the Devil is probably the song of the year in my head right now. Man. My 5-year-old, Pride is the Devil. Like he's, you know what I mean? Like, I fucking, that song, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Hunger on Hillside. There's the climb back. This, yeah. It's really great. Punching the Clock is now I named Punching the Clock as verse of the year in my opinion. It's fucking so good.
And deep
and
layered.
Deep. Yeah. So
but yeah, Pride is the Devil. That one is probably the hookiest one.
Oh my God, yeah. Yep. It's a great year to be a hip hop fan, ladies and gentlemen. We had two of the greatest to ever do it already put out albums this year.
Yeah, think about that for a second.
We're going
J.
to
Cole,
have
we're arguing which is better, J. Cole or K. Dot, right?
Yeah,
it's a fun argument.
It's crazy. I love it. I love it. I don't know how I feel about West Side or the West Coast. I forget the new Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Mount Westmore. I don't know how I feel about their album coming out as an NFT. That's a little bit weird to me, but I'm excited to hear the music whenever that comes out. However that leaks out, I don't know how we're going to get that.
We don't even know what the future of NFTs are, if there even is one. So to me, that
it's kind of weird. That's weird. It's a little too early for me, maybe. You know what I mean? And maybe we'll be thinking 10 years. These OGs are going to be ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? So who knows? But fantastic. Always beautiful to talk about, some of the greatest rappers of all time with my best friend here. So thank you guys so much for watching and supporting us. It's good to have Dirty D back on the channel. We had to have a little bit of an extra long conversation here.
Of course we did.
It's been a minute.
Yes. Love you guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Peace.